everybody, welcome in Farm Cooking with Nan. Today we're going to be making some, let me look at this again. Oh, we're going to be making some coffee cookies. It may come up as a different name on the front of at the top whenever I post the video, but I'm just going to, just espresso chocolate cookies or something like that. So, first of all, I'm going to show y'all a little trick. This is my Hershey's cocoa. To make it easier to get out, I make a small incision like a triangle. Fold that back, tear it off, and when you need to, you don't have to spoon it out all the time. Now, I'm going to tell you what's happening here. I've got 1/4 of a cup of a cocoa, but it's from the Amish, and it's so much stronger and everything. So, 1/4 of a cup of that, and then I'm going to put about 1/4 more, so that makes 1/2 of just regular. Can't do hardly anything with my left hand. That's 1/2 a cup. I want you to look at the difference in the color. I'm just telling you, sometimes, I mean, I really like the Amish cocoa, but it's a little bit stout for me. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is look at my recipe. I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of cocoa. We're going to be making some cookies today, if I didn't say that. If I didn't say that, I'm going to put in, let me make sure I get this right, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 big tablespoons of instant coffee. Instant coffee, that's not coffee beans, okay? That's instant coffee. And I'm going to put in about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Put that in there. Now, I'm going to whisk this just a little bit. Get it all mixed up. Okay, now, made a little mess there. Hang on a minute. Let me get all that cocoa. Here we go. And then I'm going to take another bowl. I'm going to push that over here. I'm going to take another bowl. I'm going to put 1.5 sticks. 1.5 sticks of melted butter. I've let this butter cool down a little bit, okay? I've melted it and just letting it cool. Into this, I'm going to put 1 egg. Then I'm going to put 2 big old heaping, I think I let my spoon go down too far, 2 big heaping tablespoons of molasses. That's 1. I'm going to have a mess to clean up, aren't I? Okay. Let me rinse my hands real quick. So we've got 1 egg, and we've gotten 1.5 sticks of butter, 2 big tablespoons of molasses. We're going to put about a teaspoon of vanilla. So far we got 1.5 sticks of butter melted, a 1/2 cup of cocoa, 1 cup of sugar. I've got to get that 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of sugar. Sorry, I'm scooping it out. Not right there in front of the camera. 1 cup of sugar. And I'm going to put that sugar in here because sugar always does well with butter. So I'm going to go back over this again so you can write it down, okay? 1.5 sticks of butter melted and cooled, 1/2 cup of cocoa, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of molasses, 1 egg and a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of instant coffee, 1.5 cups of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, I'm going to pour this into my dry ingredients. If you hear something sizzling, I've got some chicken going in the pressure cooker. And it's sort of in that pressure cooker in the vent. Sometimes it sizzles a little bit. Okay. Now, we're going to mix this together. See if I can keep from making a mess. You ever heard that old saying? I could make a mess. I could mess something up in a 2-car funeral. I think that's so funny. Not funny about the funeral, but you know. We're going to mix this up really good. Now we're getting to where we can stir. I can smell those molasses. Could be because I've still got the jar open. And then we're going to make balls. But first, I think I'm going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator for a few hours. I don't know if I'm going to make the balls first. Maybe I'll just make the balls first. Let me see what a mess I've got here. The flour. Might get just a little bit too much. So let's go ahead and get our pan ready, and we'll put it in the refrigerator in a minute. Okay, we're gonna get about 1/2 cup of sugar. This sugar is going to be used to, got a few little lumps there. About 1/2 cup of sugar. And hang on a minute, lousy me. Some days, like I said, I could mess up a 2-car funeral. I'm going to make my balls, and I'm going to spray my hand. I keep a little, this is Pam spray. I spray those, rub them together when you're going to make balls. You can, I've got the little, what do you call it? I'm going to drop it in the sugar, and I'm going to roll it around, okay? I'll make sure my little lumps are all dissolved. And we're going to put it on our tray. you can use a little, what do you call it? Scooper, little dough scooper to scoop it out if you want to, but now when this is finished, I'm going to, like I said, put it in the refrigerator, let them chill for a couple of hours before I bake them. And I know y'all don't want to watch me do all these. Usually these makes about 18 cookies. Depends on what size that you do them, you know. You see what I'm doing? We'll do one more since I had that thing down a little bit. It's always good to put a little bit of that on your spray, a little bit on your hands. Sure does help. I'm going to see y'all back when they're out of the refrigerator. Okay, I've had them in the refrigerator chilling for about 1 hour. You can leave them in there for hours and hours. It's not going to hurt anything. My oven is preheated to 350, and I'm getting ready. You want to bake these one pan at a time. I've got this one. You can see the size of the cookies. They're probably about 2-inch cookies or something like that. We're going to bake them we're going to start out about 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, somewhere in there. I'm going to grab the other pan. I had made these just a little bit larger. You can see these cookies are pretty good. They're pretty good size, so they're going to be pretty good size little cookies. So we might have to up the baking time on them. So we'll be right back. Okay, I got one pan out, and I left them in 16 minutes because they were bigger cookies, okay? So I've got them out, and I'm getting ready to put another pan in. These will be big, 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 big cookies. I'm going to set these over here. Unfortunately, I put my... Well, let me tell you something about these cookies. You need to make sure they puff up when you're baking them. And usually you bake them for about 12 to 14 minutes when you make a small little cookie. But my cookies were bigger. And so make sure in the center that they're set. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them hard or anything like that. You don't want to over bake them. But how you know that they're done? Oh, what is wrong with me? Is that they crackle. I don't know if y'all can see this with the light. They crackle all over. That's how you know that they are done. These probably should have been called chocolate crackles, but they're not. But I'm going to let them sit here for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to scoop them off and put them on just a wire rack to finish cooling while these are baking. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I've let them sit here for a little while. This is pretty hot, so I already gave Bella one. She's eating one if you're seeing where one's missing. Now we're going to take our wire rack that came from Pampered Chef. We're going to put our cookies on there. Bella, how does it taste?
It's good.
Good. She likes the coffee and she likes the chocolate, so... I got 16 big cookies out of this. These are big cookies. If you want to use your scooper, you know what I'm saying? If you want to use your scoop and get all your balls the same size, you can do that. We're going to let these finish cooling. And we'll be back with the others, okay, when they come out of the oven. Okay, we got the last 4 out. I want you, these are as big as my head. They're so big. Oh, my mercy, look at this. Aren't they beautiful? They're so much bigger than the others. They're like twice as big as the others. I just put them out on a dish here. I want you to look at this. Well, I've had 2 of the granddaughters here. They both had some. They both loved them. So I hope y'all get a chance to make yourself some, because I'm just telling you, I'm going to go over real quick again, because, you know, I want to make sure y'all get the ingredients right. 1½ sticks of butter, melted and cooled. 1/2 cup of cocoa, powdered cocoa, you know, chocolate cocoa. 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of molasses, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of instant coffee. 2 teaspoons of instant coffee. Now you can regulate that. If you want more of a coffee espresso taste, increase that a little bit. And 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Bake 350 for about 12 to 14. You want them to puff up in the middle and then go down. These are chewy cookies. These aren't crunchy. You know, you can break them apart. And so, but bake them, if you're making great big ones like this, then you need to bake them about 16 minutes. When they puff up there and they go down, you know they're ready when they start to crackle. I hope you can see that. They crackle all over. That's how you know that they're ready. It's when they start to crackle. Well, I'm going to read something real quick. I had my book here, a little booklet. Hang on a minute. Here it is, right under my towel. I'm sorry. I want to read this to you. The Lord told me today that I needed to get this out, okay? I hope I didn't lose it. This is a little poem. I've had this book forever. This is called When I'm on My Knees, and it's by Anita Corrine Donahue. I've had this book. We used to have a Christian gift and bookstore called The Mustard Seed, and this is one of my favorite books in there. Resting in His way. When my weary body fails me, when my mind is filled with strife, when the world is pressing round me, and I cannot deal with life. When I've taken on the burdens far more than I should share, I cry with broken spirit, Lord, don't others even care? In my darkest midnight hours, I hear you calmly say, you must take my yoke upon you. You must rest within my way. When my many cares I gather and I lay them at your feet, where I let your love surround me and my every need you meet. The scripture is Isaiah 40:31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings of eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Just wanted to share that with y'all today and tell y'all that I love you. Tell you how much the Lord loves you. Just lay your burdens on the Lord. He's up all night. You don't need to be up all night. He's up anyway. So put your cares and your burdens on the Lord, because He careth for you. I'm going to go. I know that's for somebody, and I'll probably hear somebody behind the scenes say, hey, Nan, that was meant for me. But God usually burdens my heart like that when it's for somebody special. Just want you to know I love you. Hope you get a chance to make some of these great cookies. They're delicious. They store well. Put them in an airtight container. Put them in your refrigerator, okay? We'll see you next time, Lord willing. Love you, and the Lord loves you more.